He had already decided what today would cost him. He did not expect a second bill to arrive. This one was postmarked 30 years from now. In 10 minutes, you'll know which bill he paid. It was a small room, and he had made it smaller on purpose. The last few weeks, he'd been giving things away, one drawer at a time. He checked the bag the way he'd checked it every morning that week. Once for the bag. Twice for his nerve. Nobody had told him to do any of this. That was most of the point. He finished the note. Read it back once, the way you check a wound before you cover it. Then he folded it, the way he always folded things that mattered. A crease, run flat, twice, and set it where it would be found. He'd been folding things that way since he was a kid. He couldn't have told you why. Some habits arrive before the reasons do, and stay long after the reasons leave. He set the note down and didn't read it a third time. Twice was already more than he trusted himself with. He wasn't certain. He had simply run out of reasons to wait. Today was the day for the plainest reason there is. Tomorrow wasn't going to be any easier to leave than today. Outside, the street was doing what streets do at that hour. A car, somewhere, starting reluctantly. None of it knew what was happening in this one room, which was, he thought, exactly how mornings like this always go. He picked the bag up first. The box, he decided, could wait one more minute. It had already waited 30 years. One more wouldn't cost it anything. He told himself that, and almost believed it. For a few seconds, he believed the whole thing had an explanation. That was the best moment of his morning. It lasted exactly as long as it took someone to answer. No delivery on record, no driver, no account of a truck on this street, this morning, at all. That should have been the end of it. He almost laughed, saying it to himself like that. It wasn't the end of it. He checked the postmark one more time, the way you reread a text hoping the words rearrange themselves. They didn't. The return address didn't exist. Not abandoned, never built. A street that hadn't been laid yet, in a part of town that was still, as far as he could tell, a field. He read that twice, the way he'd read the note twice. Whoever sent this hadn't been anywhere yet. That was one detail his phone actually managed to confirm, and it didn't help even slightly. He tried the neighbor next. Smaller hope this time, and he knew it before he'd finished knocking. Nobody had seen anyone. Nobody had seen anything at all. 2 dead ends, and neither one had explained a single thing. Both had only confirmed it. Real, by every ordinary measure he had left to check. He stood on his own step for a moment, doing the math again, the same way you check a bill twice, hoping the second total is different. It never is. He went back inside anyway, the way you go back inside even when you already know. For one beat, he almost laughed at himself for checking at all. A grown man, knocking on doors over a piece of cardboard. Then he didn't laugh. Not yet. He set it down before it could ask him anything. He went back to the bag instead. The bag, at least, only asked him one question, and he'd already answered it. That question, at least, he'd answered days ago. Alone with it again, he noticed something he hadn't let himself notice before. It wasn't the postmark anymore. He'd made his peace with the postmark. It was how much lighter the leap felt, standing next to a box that already knew how it turned out. He set it on his knee, just to see how it felt there. It felt like nothing at all, which was its own kind of answer. For a while he just sat, doing the thing he'd been doing all morning without calling it what it was, waiting to want to open it more than he wanted to walk out the door. He caught himself doing the arithmetic anyway. How many minutes before the answer stopped being his to keep, if it was even a question of minutes at all? He didn't finish that thought. He noticed himself not finishing it, which was new. The room didn't get any quieter. He just stopped noticing the rest of it. His hand found the seal without his telling it to. For the first time in months, the leap waiting by the door felt like the smaller decision. Would you have opened it? Most people think they would. Most people have never had to find out. He was starting to. If it told him the leap worked, taking it would stop being his choice. It would become an instruction he followed, something he did because a box told him to, not because he decided to. If it told him it didn't work, why get up at all? Why pack a bag for a morning that already had its ending written? Either answer took the leap away from him. The only version of it that was ever really his was the one he made without knowing how it ends. He turned that over twice, the way he'd turned the box over twice. It came out the same both times. There was no version of opening it that left the choice standing. That was the part he hadn't seen coming, out of everything the morning had thrown at him. He'd spent months rehearsing the leap itself, never once rehearsing what he'd do if someone else had already scored it. Somewhere behind him, someone shifted in their sleep, unaware this was the morning. He didn't go to them. He just listened, for a moment, the way you listen to something you're about to leave, trying to memorize a sound you already know by heart. It would still be there tomorrow, whatever tomorrow turned out to mean. The box wouldn't be. Not like this. Not unopened, not asking nothing of him, not this easy to put down. He put it down. He didn't look at it again. Whatever it knew, it could keep knowing it without him. Something else was almost out of time, and it had never once asked the box for permission. That clock didn't care what he'd decided about certainty. It had its own morning to keep. He moved fast now. The note, checked one last time. The bag, over his shoulder. The door, in front of him. Whatever he'd almost decided about the box, he was deciding it in motion now, which somehow made it easier. He didn't stop to say which decision that had turned out to be. There wasn't time, and for once, he didn't need there to be. He hadn't picked it up. He hadn't said any of this out loud, not even to himself. Some decisions don't announce themselves. They just run out of time to be anything else. He'd spent the whole morning waiting to feel sure. Instead, he just ran out of morning. He picked up the bag. The box stayed exactly where he'd left it. He didn't say goodbye to it. You don't say goodbye to a question. You just stop carrying it into the next room. The room felt exactly the same size it had all morning. He was the only thing in it that had changed. He pulled the door shut behind him, gently, the way you close a door on someone you still love, who happens to be asleep. Behind him, the room held onto the one thing he'd decided not to carry anywhere. He never found out which bill he'd paid. He only ever finds out the one he chooses to.